Classy. I like it.
Look, I'm Black empowerment, so you know I had to,
Yes. I
represent.
got on my brown, black and brown. Come
Right,
on.
Black and look, okay, Black History Month coming up, so you know how we do.
Sure.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm so excited. Happy New Year to all my gang, my Midnight R&B Edition gang. I'm so excited, honored to be on the platform today. My name is Chastity Buckley. I'm the host of Midnight R&B Edition, homage Midnight Love BET, where I give all my flowers to all my R&B artists, singers, songwriters, and producers. Y'all, but I had to come back because y'all, we in the new year, y'all, we in 2023. And I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm honored to have this lady on my platform. This episode is called Who's Next? And Who's Next, guys, if everybody's new to my show, Who's Next is like up and coming R&B singers and songwriters and producers who want to come on my show and talk about their music, their legacy, and things they want to do in the R&B community. And I'm honored to have this lady on here because I found her a year ago, last year, almost 1 year ago, sis. Mm-hmm. You are an R&B singer and songwriter. But not even that, you have your own show called Gap Visuals Only. You are the creator of YouTube. I mean, baby, you have your resume so long, child, and you younger than me, so you did more stuff than I have in a lifetime, okay? I'm honored to have this lady on the platform. She's just such an amazing artist, the one and only Miss Semiyah. Thank you so much.
Don't make me cry. Like we just
Look, sis, you can break down music so amazing, like album reviews. That's how I found you from the Aaliyah, which is so crazy because her birthday is coming up. And I was so amazed about how you picked up the Red album because a lot of people don't talk about her last album because it was sadly that's when she passed. Yeah. But I feel it's amazing when you broke that down so lovely and so sweet around Black History Month. I was happy that you honor her. So I just had to give you your flowers and your respect, but not even just that. I'm honored to have you on the platform to talk about remedial education too and everything that you've done. So I want to ask you before we do get started, how have you been since the pandemic?
I've been good. I think the pandemic really helped me to laser focus on music. I have been working on me education, the first one, for since 2016. And
what? Wow.
I went through so many phases with it. And then when the pandemic happened, it's like I had no choice but to just, okay, what am I gonna do? Like, what do I want my sound to sound like? Like, I was in a space where I was trying to figure out just who is Semiyah? What do I want to sound like? What is the message I want to send? And so when the pandemic happened, no choice but to sit down and just write. And I went through a really big personal growth journey from 2018 to 2019. So in 2020, I put all that into art, community education. So it's, even though the pandemic, obviously it was tough for a lot of us, not to see our friends and family. But I think it did allow me as a creator to really lock in with myself.
Yep.
And so it, in a way, it was helpful to me to just kind of focus. But I've been good trying to get back to the groove, going out and doing things. I kind of became a little, I work from home too. So I do everything home. I record music at home. I do everything at home. So it's I got to get outside. People right. So I'm excited to get back and hopefully do some open mic nights and things like that, just to kind of get back in the groove of performing and doing music and stuff like that. So I've been good.
That's good. So well, since we get started about who you are and just talking about how things going, look, you got you got fans laughing it out because look, we do have to get out because in our honesty, I feel with the pandemic, it really had changed a lot of our lives. You know what I'm saying? And I think just the littlest things, like you said, going outside is one of the biggest things I think we take for granted. And, just for understanding about who you are, you have to really, really find, your zen in music. You get what I'm saying? And I know it comes from a deep, deep place. So sometimes, you find things by going outside or just being at home or just even having a relationship with somebody. It all has a lot of inspiration. So I think it's amazing that you said that, but not even that, I'm happy that you got back to your zen and your peace. But not even that, I know you've done music since probably before then, 2017, but I seen you had dropped something. I said, okay, sis been doing this for about 5-6 years, girl, I give her respect. But for me, I wanted to ask you because I know, I want to get to know you as a person. So are you from Virginia? Because one of my followers found you and they was like, oh, snap, VA in the building. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yep.
Wait. How do you have fans in Virginia? And I didn't even know, just getting started. But thank you for that follower that told me. But he was so excited to see you on the platform. I know you're from Virginia. How was it living in Virginia growing up? And who were some of your influences, growing up in Virginia at the time when you listened to R&B music?
Well, I'm still here. I'm born and raised here. I'm from 757. So I love when people actually read my bio. Like, there's so much. I'm like, everything I do is up in here. Um, but I think especially like being from Virginia, just people
Yeah.
like Pharrell and Missy and
Mhm.
Timbaland. There's and Chris Brown and people like that. There's
Yeah.
so much talent that comes out of here.
Oh yes.
So in general, just growing up, like when I think about people like Missy, especially how she said like no one was doing what she was doing.
Nope.
Like when I think about it, just in terms of just creativity and just being unique, like she set the blueprint for that. It's like if you have a vision, it is possible to bring it to life.
Amen.
When I think about people that really laid the cornerstones for like that 2000 sound and music, which is what I pull from a lot in my music, it's people like Timbaland, people
Yeah.
that Aaliyah, and so just the fact that so many producers like that and people like Pharrell are from here,
Yeah.
almost kind of just like I have no choice but to really hone in and make sure everything I put out is, on 10 because those people I look
Yeah.
up to and,
I agree.
they inspire me a lot. So, I just think of them like me and my mom always, find it so interesting how what is like all these artists from here. And she's always like, well, how do you get in touch with this person? How do you meet this person? I'm like, Mom, it doesn't really work like that.
They're right.
My mom think I can just like call Pharrell, like, hey, I got this song. I'm like, Mom,
Right.
I don't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? But growing in Virginia, it inspires you. You want to be the best. And like I remember for a while, I didn't feel comfortable calling myself an R&B artist because I feel like it was a big deal to me. I
Right.
grew up in R&B. That's what I know and that's what I love. So I think when people started listening to my music, especially when I put on my second EP, Comfort, and there's
Mhm.
a song on there I have called Sure Love, which like honestly it's the best song I think in my discography in terms of just like songwriting and just how it's arranged. And people were telling me like this is real R&B. That EP solidified. I was like, okay, I'm an R&B artist. I don't have to say it. People are telling me that that's what they get from my music. So it was
Man.
just the way they receive my music and just the way they feel like this is R&B, this is what it's supposed to sound like. It's special. So I really I know I say thank you all the time to people. People probably think I'm like not being serious, but I am. Like that means a lot to me. People just taking the time to message me, be like, hey, I connected with this. That means a lot. Because
Yeah.
it's helped me to really hone in on who I am as an artist and be, also be confident in my talent too.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I was really shy growing up. So music has really allowed me to fully embrace myself and who I am and to
Right.
whatever's on my mind. So yeah.
Yeah, and I can see that because I know some of the records, like you said, I was hearing, I was like, man, who does she sound like? And I get a little bit of Summer Walker-ish from you a little
Mhm.
bit, but I can hear your voice because I know Summer is like a little more, I wouldn't say not mellow, but when it comes out of her voice, it's like a
Mhm.
little more
Very
low
laid
register,
back.
huskier. Right. And with yours, you can hear yours higher and clearer. You know what I'm saying? More like
Mhm.
soprano type. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, your voice is very
I
high.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
In school, I did grow up in church, and I was obviously grew up in the black church. I was an alto in church,
Mm.
but in school, I went to like a predominantly white school, so it was more classical, you know,
Yeah.
type of thing. I was a soprano for
Makes sense.
for almost from 7th grade all the way until I graduated. I was a soprano.
Mm.
Um, and even now, if someone were to ask me like, do you consider yourself to be a soprano or an alto? I really would not know what to say because I feel like um one of the biggest transitions when I started making my own music
Mm-hmm.
is learning how to be comfortable singing in my chest voice, not to throw out all these technical terms, but
Right.
singing from your gut and really belting it out. As a soprano, one thing I constantly sing in my head voice. That's
Oh,
constantly how we were, it's
makes
because
sense.
we're more the classical type of singing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I had that experience in that training because it has helped me, just to have somewhat of a technique when I go into singing as I'm learning more about my voice and accessing, different parts of my register and things like that. Now I used to be able to access my whistle register pretty easily
Mm-hmm.
because I was constantly singing high. Now we got to warm it up. I'm not gonna lie. We gotta warm it up a little bit.
Thank you. Please let people know that because you have to warm up your voice to make sure it's singing in the right tone. People just think you can just go out there. Oh, I can sing. No, 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 no.
No, 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 no. It's in the long run, it's best to just warm up your voice and to take care of it.
Right.
And when I look at artists like, like Usher, who it is arguable that he sounds even better than he did when he was younger. Like,
okay,
like
preach.
how is that possible? Like his Tiny Desk, he sang everything in the original key. Just in case everyone was wondering. I was like, why is no one making it? Like, he literally sings something. He was like a teenager, and he's an adult singing everything in the original key.
Yeah, they be trying to play him though, like he can't sing. I'm like, well, not even too much. He can't sing. People feel like talent wise in certain things, and I know Chris Brown's your brother, but they feel like they'll put Chris over Usher. And I'm like, y'all, come on now.
Yeah, but let's just say, Usher does not have peers. Okay, he's a one of one.
One of one.
It's not easy to be in this industry as long as he has to perform at the caliber that he does,
right?
What he does, like his residency in Vegas, like no. No. Like don't do it.
Exactly, exactly. But I appreciate it because, like I say, Chris Brown is a talent too. So I just feel like when people lay the blueprint for people to understand it, it's just like be honest about the history and stuff. And that's what I love about you, Semiyah. Because one thing I love about your platform, you've always big up a lot of albums that I really know, and that's why I know you study music very well. And you just saying that you're classically trained, it makes a lot of sense because listening to your music, especially remedial education and stuff like that. I want to ask you, like, how did you, like, why or what made you want to become in the music industry? Like, what made you now want to get in that? Did you start with the YouTube thing, or did you want to just go straight into your music? Because how did that come first?
I've always loved to sing.
Okay.
The issue was I was just really, really shy. I was a very, very shy kid. Funny story, first time I ever tried out for like a school program, and like I was in not even middle school yet.
Right.
Elementary school. And I remember the audition, I had the mic over my hand, I was shaking so bad, and I was like whispering into them. I was like, oh, I was terrified. And my best friend at the time, she was like behind me, like putting my shoulders, like, you're doing good, you're doing good. I'm like, girl, no, I'm not. This is trash. I'm not getting this part. And this, that, and the third. So I've always loved to sing. And then around the same time, I think I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, 4th grade. So it was a few years later after that. I think I was in the 2nd grade. I first tried out for something singing. I tried out again. And my music teacher at the time, her name was Mrs. Fairclough. She is a big reason as to why, like, ever since that day in 4th grade, I tried out for something. She gave me a solo in every single school production we had. And that's one of the big reasons why I grew to love my voice and love how it sounded. So I've always loved to sing. And then in school, growing up, I transferred schools in 7th grade. And so just, as a teenager, like I said, I was naturally shy. I always had a tendency to make myself smaller, to feel comfortable, because, I felt like, now I'm realizing that I think I felt when people were jealous of me because of my talent. And so I was just making myself small. And then when I graduated in 2016, I just, I met new people, met new friends, and I was on Periscope for a while, and I used to sing on there, just, messing around.
Girl, people don't talk about Periscope, baby. That was the thing back in the day.
And that's how I really grew a majority of my audience for YouTube. So I was singing on there, and that's actually how I ended up meeting three of my friends. And my best friend, they just encouraged me, like, you should start doing covers again. Because I had my YouTube. I made it in like 2012. Didn't really post on it much because I was still kind of shy.
Right.
And they were like, you should post the covers. And so 2016, I officially started posting covers. Like, anyone that was there before the reviews knows it was strictly music. All I did was sing. And so 2016, I got in contact with a producer, and we just clicked really well. He did a reimagined version of Drake's Fake Love. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And he like reimagined it. That was like one of my first time producer working. I'm like, oh, okay, we can do this, So, and then after that, we worked on some more stuff, and then I came out with my first song for Genesis, I think 2017.
Right.
It was trap R&B. So
Bryson Tiller, I see where you were.
Yeah. And so like songs like that. And I have another song called Tweaking. Like, I did a lot of trap R&B stuff, and I'm not ashamed of that era of my music. It's fun. Like, I just love music in general. As I've grown older and getting more into songwriting, and I just think about things a little bit deeper now, it's naturally become more of a neo soul contemporary R&B sound.
Boom, there you go. I was about to say, it gives you to that neo soul vibe, and people want to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's been a transition of me just finding myself as a person
Yeah.
and just learning what I liked, and just more and more I just think about the things I grew up listening to. So
Yeah.
16 is when I was like, okay, I want to start taking things seriously, and with the encouragement of just like a small amount of people, that's what I did. And
Yeah.
now here we are, 3 projects later. So
And that's what I love. I know you have put out like singles at first, and then I seen the Remedial Education, the first one. And it's, I wanted to talk to you about that because I know we're gonna talk about the latest one you did in October, the one you dropped. I was like, okay, sis, like this, and that's what really got me on you. Like, I think when I followed you and I heard your song Better Than Ever, I was like, wait a minute, this is a different sound. I'm like, hold up. And then your voice was so clear and crisp. That's what I love versus the different R&B artists that we have, now. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they use a lot of auto-tune, and it's not nothing against them, but at the end of it, I like raw vocals. And that's just me. I'm a raw vocals girl. I love ballads. I'm a person that likes to hear people sing. So for you, Remedial Education, I wanted to ask you about that title. It's very interesting. You look so beautiful on the covers, honey. But I know for sure, because the remedial is kind of like a negative connotation, and I know a lot of people like, why should say remedial education? You know what I'm saying? Because the context of it. So I wanted to ask you, like, why did you come up with that title? And I know a lot of the tracks. I know what I've learned. I think from the first one EP that you did, it reminds me, like, I think you were doing a lot of Black empowerment type of stuff, like BLM and other stuff that you were doing. And I was like, okay, this is very gravitating, but I think you were coming from an inspirational vibe of Remedial versus Remedial 2. So I want to ask you, like, what was the title? What's the meaning of the title? And, like, what was your meaning behind the whole project at that time?
I came up with Remedial Education because it was all the songs are inspired from lessons I had to learn over and over again, so I finally got it. And that's what a remedial class is. It's something you've taken before, but you just didn't get it.
You didn't get it? Yep. Pretty much.
You gotta keep taking it until you get it. And like you said, remedial does have a negative connotation to it. But I realized that sometimes, isn't that what life is about? You will keep going through the same stuff until you react the way you're supposed to, or you're trying to learn that lesson. God will keep giving you the same lesson until you get it. And that's what he was doing to me. He was like, you ain't got it yet. So, that's how I came up with that. I was like, all these lessons I've learned, all these things I've been through, and I'm finally at a point where I can write about them because I've learned the lesson. I got it. And I also want to point out too that I know a lot of people put my music in the healing category, which it is.
It gives me that, and that's why I say it's so, like, your first is super inspirational. I was like,
it is meant to do that. And I always like to tell people, even just now, I just realized that healing to me is not about being perfect. It's just about being better. Even when I never like tell anyone, like, oh, I'm healed. I wrote these songs. I'm good, y'all. I'm straight. Like, I ain't even know. No, I'm still learning things about myself. And I know I'm still going to have, more lessons, things I'm going to go through. Yeah. But the thing about remedial education too, in general, I didn't even plan on really doing one. After I did the first, I didn't want to touch it because pressure. Like, that means it's got to be better
than the second one.
So I was
better than the first. Excuse me.
Yeah. So I was like, I was like, okay, that was an era of my music. I'm ready to move to the next thing. That's when I dropped Comfort. I was like, I want to do some love songs, some classic R&B. Then after that, I was like, I just started writing. I just had things to get off my chest.
Especially Kenny.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow, you dove deep.
Baby, you said about that Pretty Proud line. I said, come through.
No, that's like one of my favorite things I think I've ever written. As soon as I got to writing, I was like, you kind of ate that low key. I'm not gonna lie.
You did eat that. You did.
But no, actually, I feel like Kenny was probably the song that probably a lot of people found out about me from. And the thing about it, the reason why that song's on streaming platforms is because I actually have no idea where the producer went. I found the beat on YouTube. And it was like free for profit. So I was like, oh, it's cool. I can use it, put it out. But at that point, I wasn't really putting anything out on streaming unless I was like 100% confident in it. And Kenny was just kind of like, I'm trying things out, getting the feel. Still doing the trap R&B thing. So I was like, I'm just feeling things out. And people loved it so much. We're like, oh, why is it on streaming? I'm just like, I don't know what the producer is. And I'm not putting nothing up there. No one's going to get they check.
But that preach.
So,
business, music business.
Yeah. So I don't know whether he changed his name. I don't know what happened. But if for any reason if I find him again or something, I'll be sure to be like, hey, I came out with the song a few years ago. And people really like it. But yeah, when I was just writing and writing after 2020, after the EP, and I just had things get off my chest. And it wasn't until maybe the third 3 songs in, I was like, okay, this sounds like it could be Army Education Part 2. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm focused. That's what I'm going to do. So I just continued to build on what I talked about in the first one, but also I wanted this one to have more of a set story of like kind of a journey of healing. When you at your lowest, you're lonely, and then you're like, okay, I have to isolate myself, and that's okay. And now, but now I'm better. I'm learning to communicate better. I'm learning to let go of things, let go of people. I wanted this one to have a set journey and a soundtrack for healing for like no matter what stage you're in your journey or your process, you can turn this on and you got a song for it.
That makes perfect sense, because I was going to tell you, like, when I heard Remedial Education, it's inspirational. And like I said, it's healing, it is. But when I listen to the second one, it's coming from a woman's perspective of how she is in a relationship wise. Because I think track number 1, it told me about the black girl. That was so sweet when you put that on there. I said, come through, black man. I was like, yes. Because I think a lot of us don't talk about, I think, the journey of the black man. You know what I'm saying? And I think you were coming from that perspective, but I felt like, too, I don't know why I just felt Media 2 felt like a relationship type of vibe versus the first one, because this one now you're talking about better than you ever was from this person. You felt like healing, not even that you know your worth, your self-worth. And I've always talked about self-love is the best love. And I feel like with 1 and 2, you can tell it's the journey of the inspiration, but now it's coming from perspective of what this person was going through in a relationship type of aspect.
Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. And actually, this is the perfect time for me to say this.
Exclusive.
No, because I actually, when I wrote this, I wasn't necessarily talking for me personally. What this EP means for me, it's about friendships and like family relationships. I wasn't with anyone when I wrote. I've been single for a while, so these songs personally to me are not necessarily about an ex. Some of them, I mean, they can apply to it for me for sure.
It did for me. And did you see my manipulation of the lyrics? No.
But that's
but I love
interesting though, because I'm actually glad that people are interpreting these songs in their own way. Because Did It For You, I'm realizing that people feel like that's a breakup song. I'm just like, I guess it can't. Now, for me personally, it's about a family member for me.
Wow.
It's not about a boyfriend. And so a lot of these songs really were just about past friendships. Like, I mean, I kind of thought back to things, that in my last relationship, and I, wrote about them. But like, it wasn't like I didn't go into writing these songs like this is about him.
Right.
It wasn't about that. But these songs can definitely apply to it. Now, there is a song I have called "Own Up to It," and I like to think of it as like kind of a part 2 to like "Did It For You" is a part 2 to "Own Up to It." "Own Up to It" was definitely about X.
Okay.
100%. That was about him.
Oh, okay. I think because I was like, I can tell certain words for what you said. I was like, is she talking about somebody? She got to be talking about somebody. You can tell certain things.
Yeah. And even though the way I wrote these, it was kind of intentional, but kind of not. But I started to get to a point when I was writing where I was like, certain pronouns I don't want to use. I don't want to necessarily say he or she.
Right.
So I wanted to make it very like, I want people to hear be like, oh, I'm thinking of this person. That's good. So they're written in a way that's still personal to me, but also where you can make your own generalization and apply it.
And no genders. Everything is just who you are, how you feeling.
Yeah. So "Did It For You" was very. I think at first I had a he in there, and I was like, no, well, this can apply to other stuff. It's not necessarily about, what I mean? So I made it more general in that sense. But a lot of people have been like, it's a breakup song. And like, I'm not mad at that. I'm glad that people like now I don't mind saying what it means to me, because I want people to have their own interpretations of it first.
Amen.
Before they know what I know. What do you get from it? So it's interesting to people like see it as like me after a breakup and things like that, but some of them just family and just friendships.
That is so, girl. If you went to the choir today, you look at my friend, y'all talking about amen, somebody like, it makes sense, because like I said, it's certain perspective. Like for me, the first one sounded like very inspirational, very gospel, very like I love what my life is. Not even that thing about us. I put him 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that one, it's like, okay, I'm going through something, but I'm going to get my way out of this transition. You know what I'm saying? That was what I was thinking when I listened to the both EPs.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, shit got a little, but now you, as the songwriter and the singer, I know for sure at the end of the age, your perspective was so different. And I had songwriter Kipper Jones, I want to shout him out. He did a song for Kenny Lattimore, and he said a song that he did called Always and Forever. I thought it was straight up about a breakup, but love. He was like, it was about a family member that was on drugs. And I was like, wait a minute, what? I was like,
look.
What? And it was so crazy because for his perspective, he thought about a loved one in his family, not a breakup or whatever, you know?
So I recently had a moment like that where I also was not, I interpreted the lyrics of a song wrong. Yeah. It was D'Angelo's Brown Sugar. Girl, I had that all the way wrong. I thought it was like a love song. I was like, I want some of your brown sugar, but it's not about that. He's talking about a woman that had an addiction. And I'm like, oh, Lord. That's not the brown sugar I thought he was talking about. So it happens. Even though I'm a songwriter and I'm always listening to lyrics, sometimes I'm so caught up in whatever I think it's supposed to be about. And you go and ask artists, and they're like, nope, not about that. I'm like, that's wrong.
So who are some of the producers that you work with since you said, because you wrote everything on your EPs, correct?
Yes.
Come on, Pen Game. But like, who are the producers that you really, because I love Better Than Ever. I think that's my favorite song off the EP. I was like, okay, that's what made me hook you in. I'm like, okay, this is a different type of R&B sound, but now that you can tell and go in a different genre. That's why I got stuck on that one a lot.
Yeah, Better Than Ever. On every EP I release, I like to have that one hyphy song, like that one upbeat song. So when I have fun, I think it's still remnants, like residual effects when I did a lot of trap R&B, because that's all I put out was upbeat songs. So
Makes
now
sense.
Like, I want to have that one because I want to have fun. I like fun, I don't have.
Everybody want to be gloomy,
right? Like I know I probably had y'all crying and all this, so we need to keep it upbeat,
Right.
And the producer, I'll actually have to go look at the list, but I know the producer for Did It For You was No Salas. He's a producer I found on YouTube. All these producers I found on YouTube. I don't know if people have this stigma about YouTube producers, but regardless, there's some really talented people on there. The same way people find me on YouTube, that's how I found a lot of other artists and creatives. And YouTube producers, I like finding them where there's like either just starting out, but like you can tell like there's talent there. And like I love finding that, And so the producers that did It For You was No Salas. He actually produced the very first track on RE1 as well. So it was, I didn't even realize, but it wasn't intentional. I just happened to listen to another beat. I was like, oh, I like this too. So first track from the first and second is both by him. And at the beginning of Did It For You, that's actually my brother, who's a rapper. And the little cooing you hear in the background is my nephew.
Oh, that's so sweet.
My brother started off the EP, the first RE1 talking on it. That's the first voice you hear on RE1.
Okay.
So make sure he started off the second one too as well. So you can kind of parallel the changes from my life in the first one and also to this one. Like, in the first one, you didn't hear any babies in the background. And Did It For You, my brother is married. He has a kid, So it's like you guys can hear these parallels and these changes in both of our lives. But I have to actually go back and look and listen who did Better Than Ever. But I remember the first time I heard that beat. I've never done anything that was more 80s inspired. Like I love the 90s and I love the 2000s, but something about hearing those synths in Better Than Ever, I was like, this is giving me like boy band 80s fun. And I was like, I want to push myself, I want to step out of the box. And I kept it simple lyrically because I felt like everything at that point was pretty, it's beyond surface level stuff that I've written about on R&B. So I was like, let's keep it simple, nothing too crazy. Let's stack some harmonies. And I feel like it's pretty obvious to tell that I had so much fun recording that one.
You did.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. That was produced by Roy Chase, who's another producer on YouTube. He did Better Than Ever, and and also the interlude. Better Than Ever. So the interlude as well. I just took the piano, stripped it back.
I respect you brought interludes back, baby, because they don't talk about that no more.
Yeah, I'm trying to. That's the thing. Like I always, especially someone that does review music, I was like, oh, I miss bridges. I miss da 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 da. I'm like, wait a second, Semiyah, you make music. you do it when you make it, you know? So I try to take my own criticism and be like, okay, let's put a bridge in here, or let me do this differently. Let me do more vocal production. I feel like the biggest thing for me was really learning how to get better at vocal arrangements.
Yeah.
There was a big lack of that on the first EP. Not that it made it bad, but
no, it was
that's
good.
definitely like learning how to make songs sound full. And so when I think of somebody like, obviously, Brandy does gorgeous vocal arrangements.
Girl,
And,
you know she my heart. That's my heart.
And I listen to
Maya.
she just
it was gonna fall, child. Look,
the spirit took over.
As soon as I said Brandy, there it go.
See, she was trying to snatch it. She was trying to snatch it from you. And I listened to a lot of Alex Isley as well. I listened to her album Marigold like so many times while I was recording the project, and so just trying to find my own style of stacking my vocals and arranging them was a really big thing I focused on with this. I was like, I want to really hone in on that and trying to make songs sound full, but also knowing when to pull back, because sometimes I'm like, okay, Semiyah, it's enough. It's enough. It's full. You've done it.
Sometimes you should pull back, though. I feel like you should just give your all if you feel that way.
Yeah. I think sometimes making sure anything, like sometimes I will do a lot of stacking and I want to make sure that at least my lead vocal is not being overshadowed. You know what I mean? Like
that does make sense.
Yeah, basically just trying to find a balance. Like, okay, yeah, I want it to be full, but I also want to make sure that they're still hearing the lead vocal, and that when they go back, listen to it, then they can focus on BGBs.
That makes sense.
They're trying to find that balance, like, doing the most, but like knowing when, like, okay, you did the most, now let them listen.
Come on.
There you go.
Baby, you dropped the gym. Look, my wig fell because they knew I love Brandon, and then you dropped the gym, baby, by doing everything. Okay, sis. All right. So I want to ask you. So I got a question to ask you, sis. Since you did talk about R&B and bridges, I want to ask you, since you are in this R&B industry, I want to ask you, do you feel that R&B is back, or do you feel like it's coming back, or how do you feel the state of R&B? Because Diddy made his proclamation. You know how crazy he gets, child. But he felt like R&B was there. So do you feel that R&B is back, or do you feel it's coming back, or what is your intake about R&B now?
I'll be honest with you, I never felt like R&B died.
Thank you.
Never have felt that way. And I feel like when people like to make that argument, just because if you're only listening to mainstream, then yeah, you are gonna feel like it's dead. So, and you know what? And I felt like I was just telling someone the other day, a quick way to make my blood pressure rise is telling me that R&B is dead. That's a quick way to trigger me, because I'm like, for one, see, the work we do as content creators, I'm on the content creation side, is basically making music or uplifting R&B and making it accessible, because people don't want to search for it. That's all it boils down to. I don't know why it's so hard, especially if you have Spotify, you listen to an artist, hear a song you like, all you gotta do is go to listen to whoever's radio it is, or listen to similar artists. It'll give you a whole slew of artists that are similar to what you just heard. So it is accessible on I know for sure on Apple Music and Spotify, any DSP, to find artists similar, but I never felt like it died. I feel like when I think about a lot of artists that inspire me, not just, the OGs and, the legends, but like upcoming R&B, even artists I've connected with personally that inspire me, I don't feel like anything's missing. We have our powerhouse vocalists.
Amen.
We have girl group, we have Flo, so we have girl groups, and we have there's the only thing arguable you say is missing, maybe a boy band. But I also feel like in order for let's see, if you want a black boy band to do like the dancing things like that, it's up to the public to decide if we're gonna really get behind them. It's really up to us. And I think one of the reasons why Flo has been so successful is because there was a need for an R&B girl group.
It was. Exactly.
And they came in, they studied for sure. They came in and they saw there was a need, and that's people just gravitated towards them. So for me, R&B has never been dead. I've found artists that remind me of music I used to listen to growing up, and also bring something to the table. So I've never felt like anything's missing, nothing's lacking. Now mainstream, yeah, maybe there's something lacking there, but as a whole, absolutely not. And if someone keeps saying the R&B is dead, it's a marketing ploy. 100%. And honestly, you know what? And not even like the irony of who said that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Considering like how many people you keep in the basement. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Look,
baby, you have get one of the best R&B answers about the state of the look. You got your look. My friend Johnson Reed, marketing players applaud. Marketing players.
Yeah, no, that's like I don't know. I feel like we need to stop placing. I don't know why. When it comes to asking about whether R&B is dead or not, like, why are you asking people that? Like, if you're asking, like, okay, if you're asking Usher this question, I understand.
Usher went off. That's why I love him
because he knows it's not dead. Like, people keep asking that question to the wrong people. Why are you like? No offense, like to Mr. Puff, but like, why are we asking him that?
That part.
Necessarily his niche or his lane. I'm more concerned with knowing how does someone like Usher feel about the state of R&B. How does someone like Tony Braxton or Tamar Braxton feel about the state of R&B because they've been making it? How does someone like JoJo feel about the state of R&B because she's been making it? She was like 12 or 13 years old. And she's
Amen. That is true.
Those are people I care about. I don't care about he trying to sell something.
All right. That's all, child.
Doesn't matter. Like, be for real.
Come on, come through, sis. Come through. I love it, girl. You amazing. Great. And I want to ask you another question. So, since we are talking about like people like you said, Usher and stuff like that, is there anybody like a dream collaboration for you? Like, who do you want to collaborate if you ever had the chance to?
Ooh, I'm gonna start with upcoming R&B because that's just I spend a lot of time on my channel always talking about upcoming R&B. So there's this artist named Kamari, and people always say that he reminds me of Frank Ocean, but he kind of makes the same like kind of healing, very like soul stirring type of R&B music, very personal to him, and so I would love to collaborate with him one day. As in general for like just reaching for the stars, I would love to collaborate with like Tori Kelly or JoJo. And then
dope.
The ultimate dream, even if it was just a studio session with her, even if I just got to follow her around, I don't care. Jasmine Sullivan. You
give me her vibe. You give me her vibe.
Yeah. I was just listening back to I revisited a reality show and was it the album that has 10 seconds and holding you down on it.
You talking about her sophomore album. Yep, yes. I know you talking about. Yes.
I just have been listening to when I think I don't look, no one has to hear it. I don't care if I just gotta sit there. I don't care what we do.
Period.
I just want to be there and just listen to her. So
amen.
She's one of those like an artist I really want to collaborate with. But there's a lot of upcoming R&B like they inspire me. Like some of my friends, like they like it's dope to me. Like we all grew up with either in church or we're classically trained, and now we're making our own music. It's special and it's so beautiful. I get excited. Like I love reposting when my friend, my friend just dropped something. Like that's exciting to me. We're all out here doing our own thing, making good music that matters to us, and adding our own, adding our stamp on the R&B genre as a whole.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Oh,
those are people I would love to collaborate with. Producers, like we talked about earlier about Brian Michael Cox.
Yeah, that's dope.
Love to work with him. There's another producer I love. Brian Michael Cox for sure. Oh, and Jonta Austin.
Oh yeah, Jonta Chai. You know what? You could definitely. I can see you because I know Troy Taylor. He's another one. Child, him.
Troy Taylor is
dope.
I love how he really seems to. He has two artists, Shay Jennifer and Culture. And he I love how him and Babyface really embrace upcoming R&B. There's no like.
I agree, they do.
Yeah, there's no gatekeeping. There's no like, hey, let's let's do this together. Let me help you. I love that. I love to see OGs and R&B kind of just wrap their arms around us, like, hey, let's work on this thing. You teach me about what y'all got going on. I teach about what we had going on back then. That's what it should be about.
And when I feel like those respects come together, I feel like some way, somehow, like you said, with the old school and the new school come together, we can bring back, I think, what R&B is. And I think a lot of people, they don't understand too. When it comes down to R&B, I get it that everybody wants that old feeling back. I think the thing, like you said, I think everybody wants real vocals and real honesty with music. And I feel like with your songs, Remedial, from the EPs that you've done, I felt that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why with you, you're very eclectic. Like, I see why, because you from VA. One out there, y'all Virginia people, y'all are super talented for where y'all are. And I think for you, sis, I will give you so much respect, because one thing you do, you study the genre. You don't just sing it, you study it. And a lot of people, I want them to study the genre and then give your own interpretations, because I think for you, because you're so knowledgeable about albums and bodies of work and producers, and I can tell you rely on old notes. So a person like that, I want them to get back. I think my prayer for R&B is on that level, but people like you will give it hope. So I'm thankful for you upcoming R&B artists that is doing that. But not even that, I love that you give respect to the OGs, and not even that the OGs give respect to y'all for the new ones that's coming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like my friends say, that's how we can bridge the gap, because once we bridge that gap, I think we'll be a superseding genre like we've always been. Yeah. For the mainstream respect us and let us have an open door to have our music out there too.
You know? I also think sometimes, and people really let nostalgia keep them from embracing this genre.
I do agree with that. I do.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I love the 2000s. That's where a lot of my music, that's where I pull from. But I can't stay stuck in that one niche. It's important for me to listen to everything that's current and everything that's going on. And I feel like my thing is that if you love nostalgic R&B, that's great. It is still there for you to listen to. No one is stopping you.
Amen.
But to get up on Rihanna's internet and complain every day that there's something wrong, it's like you're so stuck back here, you can't embrace what's right in front of you.
Yeah.
There's so much great R&B.
It is, girl.
So I would just encourage people to not let nostalgia keep you in a chokehold for too long. I know we love it. We love to go back and we love to reminisce. We love a little throwback Thursday. I know. Right. But embrace what's right. There's so much. Yeah. So much of it. And there's an R&B artist that's just waiting for you to find them.
I agree.
All you have to do, and you will. You'll come across and somebody will put you on, or you will actually utilize your DSPs telling you there's a similar artist, because Apple Music and Spotify does it, just in case no one knew. You'll find them. So I just tell people, like, you gotta embrace new age R&B. Like, and that's why sometimes I think I don't ever want to be like, when I'm like 60 or something or 50, I don't want to be the adult that's like, oh, I don't like that. Wow, that's not how we did it back in I don't want to ever be that. No.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, that's what y'all got going on. That's nice. I like that. You know, I love that. I like people that just don't have an issue with embracing R&B. Like, and I feel like when you have artists like, I love how you mentioned artists like me that make me smile. Artists too, like Coco Jones. I feel like she's gonna be one of the two that really bridge that gap.
She is. She's beautiful chocolate, like, girl.
Like, I See You. I'm not even. You can quote me on. I See You is gonna be one of those records that people play at their wedding, the first dance song. It's that type of classic love record. So I'm like, you have artists like that can really bridge that gap, and that can still make the music that's current that we like to vibe to, but also give you their roots and like where they come from, and that, you know, they study it. So it's possible. You just either you got to go out and find it, or you can follow a platform like Midnight R&B Edition. That's
honey.
There's R&B Radar, there's R&B Only, there's Rated R&B. Constantly, every
R&B representatives, my people, they love it. Shout out to my people.
No reason for people like it's dead. There are R&B platforms like yours every single day pushing for this genre. So people just gotta tap in. That's really all it is.
Come on, sis. That's cool, girl. You one of my favorites. I hope you be look. I'm not saying it for likes, but you know, at the end of the year when I do my votes, baby, they need to watch this and see that you really brought a lot of gems. I'm not even lying. But I wanted to ask you, do you have any advice for people that want to get in the R&B, like, or in the music industry? What is your advice for people that are trying to be like consistent and not in that have a dream of wanting to be a singer?
I would say, honestly, it's advice I probably wish I would have gave to myself when I was first starting out. Be confident in your talent and what you bring to the table. Because if you're confident in what you're making, you know what you're making is dope, it's going to show.
Amen.
If you're not confident, that's also going to show. So trust your talent and make the music that makes you happy. Make the music that you want to hear. Yeah. And people gravitate towards it. Just starting out, I feel I was like I said, I was shy, and even though I'm still like that in some ways, but I'm learning how to make connections with other creatives. So I
Right.
would say, don't be scared to send that email. Don't be scared to send that DM. And the fact of the matter is, you may get a creator that maybe y'all don't mesh. That may happen, but you never know who's watching you. And so just keep
Preach.
posting, another thing, keep reposting your stuff. I say this to myself as well. Keep reposting your music. I don't care if you released it 3 years ago. If you're an artist, you're just starting out, even me, I say to myself, keep promoting and keep reposting your music.
Amen.
Don't stop.
Yep.
So I would say just be consistent with reposting your stuff, trust in your talent, and just don't be scared to make connections. It can be very daunting, and I'm still like, I'm scared.
Girl, don't be, girl. You good.
Send the DM, send
Yeah.
the email, tag that person, ask your followers to tag whoever. And also when it comes to, connecting with other artists, I know sometimes, if you don't feel like people are reciprocating when you post stuff, just keep doing what you do, and all the love you put into people, especially you put it out, will come back to you. That's one
Amen.
thing for me. My platform has been dedicated to constantly uplifting other artists. And when I dropped RE2, I can tell you guys without a doubt, I felt that love 110% come back to me. And I cried. I was like, wow. Like, just to feel all that love come back when you put so much time in other people was really special. So
Yeah.
if your heart's in the right place, and the love is genuine, it'll come back to you. Don't stress who's not doing well, who's not. Well, they didn't comment. They didn't. Don't worry about that. People that will really mess with you, that really rock with your sound, what you're doing, they will be there. The love will come back tenfold. Just keep.
Amen. Amen, sis. Amen. And I want to ask you, do you have any upcoming projects that you got coming up? Are you doing RE3 or
So,
any new stuff? And we're in 2023 now. Happy New Year again, Queen. Like,
what?
what upcoming projects or stuff do you have going on right now for you?
So there's the good news is that I am working on new music. I have like four songs ready for another project. I want to do like a side A, side B thing.
Can
Um,
we find out you going back to cassettes? No, I'm just playing.
no, like I'm bring it back, But I can tell you that this EP, the first one, will be like all love songs.
Ooh, this is Valentine's Day, honey, coming up. Yes, look.
So I will say, when it comes, people have asked me about Remedial Education Part 3, and I was just telling somebody the other day. Look, I have a crush, so like I just told this man I'll build him a man cave. Mind you, I've used a hammer like twice. Okay. I have the perfect muse to write love songs right now. So like all the songs about healing, y'all gonna have to run RE1 and 2 back.
Right, amen.
Because right now I'm in my lover girl era, and like I also got to a point where I kind of convinced myself that I couldn't write about love anymore if I wasn't in it. And I feel like when people think about R&B, they think about love songs, like Brian McKnight and people like that. Those classic love songs, right?
And I was sleeping on my boy. Look.
Yes. And I'm like, I don't want to write another love song until it's beyond surface level. I want it to be first dance, wedding, anniversary. Like that's the type of love songs I want to put out. So I was like, I'm not gonna write about it until I feel like I'm at a place where either I'm in it or I have a muse where I can do it. So the past like few months ago, that's all I've written have been love songs, and the first time it's come so naturally to me. Like it's a lot deeper than like Kenny. Kenny is cute. I love Kenny. It's a fun song.
I like Kenny, child. When you said that line, Penny, but I said, oh,
yeah.
Girl, she got when you got me on that. When I listen to the lyrics, I'm like, oh, she good.
Yeah, like so it's more than that. It's long. Like I said, when I think about some of the best songs by discography, I think about Sure Love, because that is the one. I feel like every artist has that one song you're like, yeah, I like that. Love is my song. I'm like, yeah, like
it's a real good ballad.
Yeah, like just as humbly as I can possibly say, like I'm really like that. That's how Short Love is for me. So being the fact that I feel like I'm making more songs like that are even better, and that push I feel like writing about love can be surface level, it can be very deep. And so and if it's not obvious the type of stuff that I write, I like to dig deep, not only for myself, but just in general, and like the way I feel things. I feel a lot. So I was like, I want to write about love, and I want it to really like impact people. I want them to feel it. Like if they're not in love, they feel like they're in love, you know? So that's what I'm working on now, just like a whole bunch of love songs because that's where I am. Where I'm not saying like I'm healed, we in love now. But no. I'm in this place where I'm able to write and I'm able to muse about things, so it's coming naturally to me. So yeah, RE3, like it's one of those projects I tell people to get an RE3. It has to just fall in place.
It does. It has to fall in place. It has to be at a perfect place at the perfect time.
Yes. If I start writing songs where I'm back more of like a learning curve, I'm going something, then yes, there'll be an RE3. But I could never tell y'all now that I don't know. RE3 could be next year. It could be 2 years from now.
That part, it could happen. It could like Sade, wait 8 years and child drop RE3.
Exactly. I'm like, try to be 30. Like life is life, and I'm here now. I'm ready to give y'all some more. But right now, no, we're in the love song, like lover R&B girl era. That's what I'm doing. I feel like there's so much great R&B I've listened to just in general, just like revisiting Jasmine's albums, like I told you earlier.
Yeah.
I'm inspired. Just going back and listening to her. So yeah.
Oh, well, that is so sweet. Well, one more question I have for you, darling. I want to ask you, can you sing one song for me?
Okay.
On the platform, it can be any song. It does not matter. Any song you want to
sing. I felt like she's gonna ask me to sing something. And I
always do that for
I need to have a song in mind. I was singing so many songs yesterday. Let's see.
We an exclusive?
Yeah.
Girl, come on,
actually,
look.
Actually, maybe I could sing something I've been working on.
Okay.
There's this song I wrote. I called it. Actually, you know what? No, it's not thinking my own lyrics. So we're not gonna do that.
Okay.
Let me think. Let's think of. I literally was singing a whole bunch of songs yesterday, and I told myself I need to have a song ready. And I don't just want to sing "Weak" by SWV because I feel that's what I feel like. Dang, that's my song.
Atlas, sing that. You sing that. I know.
Okay.
Sing that if you can. Right. If you want to, though, it's your choice. Whatever.
I hate to do the niche, like when someone puts you on the spot. I'm gonna sing "Weak" by SWV. That's the song everyone does, but I'll do that one. I don't know what it is that you done to me, but it's caused me to act in such a crazy way. Whatever it is that you do when you do what you're doing, it's a feeling that I want to stay. And my heart starts beating triple times with thoughts of loving you on my mind. I can't figure out just what to do when the cause and cure is you. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control. Something takes over me, and a day's your love so amazing. It's not a phase. I want you to stay with me. By my side, I swallow my pride. Your love is so sweet, it knocks me right off of my feet. Can't explain why your loving makes me weak.
Girl, I'm done with you. Baby.
Not the collection plate, please.
Let me tell you right now. I know the producer, so you know I'm going to repost this, right?
Oh, please. Oh, my goodness.
Baby. And you know, I'm going to tell you right now, all 3 of them follow me. So, baby,
oh my goodness,
girl, you did that. You did that.
The collection plate is empty. I am so weak. We got a little oil in it. You know,
come on, holy oil, hallelujah.
Oil. I feel like there's a whole bunch of R&B songs where like it's R&B, it's secular, but like there's a little oil.
The week is that one.
Yes, like it's one like there's a little bit of oil in it, depending on how you sing it. You know.
Well, sis, I am so proud of you, and I want to wish you so many blessings this year. Happy New Year. God bless you. You are my first interview of the year, honey. You got a lot to celebrate for this year, honey, and I'm so proud of you. And anything you drop, you please let me know, because I will support anything you do, because I'm a person, I had to be honest with myself, and I love that you dropped that about people be so set in their ways. And it wasn't a point I was set in my ways, but I wanted to give people their chance. And I feel like people like yourself, you give us true hope that I don't think it's not the thing about the R&B aspect. I think the nostalgia feel we're missing. I think we're just missing real music and honesty and vocals. And I feel that you have run that on my platform, and I want to wish you a beautiful, beautiful, happy new year. God bless you. And baby, you have set the tone for the Who's Next people that come right after you this year in 2023, so be prepared. Guys, we are done with my beautiful interview. And before we do end, do you have any, let people know where to follow you, your handles? I want to let people know where to find you and reach you.
Yes, my Instagram is _Semiyah. My Twitter is Semiyah_. I literally changed things so it's easy to find me on everything. My TikTok is _Semiyah. If you just type in my name, you'll find me. You know, Gap Visuals Only. That's my channel. Where I talk about upcoming R&B and do a lot of what we talked about today. So yeah, Semiyah. You type in Semiyah, I'm there. You're gonna find me. It's not hard. I made it easy.
Yes, honey, and y'all make sure y'all do listen on streaming platforms. All her stuff, Remedial Education 1 and 2 is out on streaming platforms. But make sure y'all do support this queen, support everything she's doing in R&B. And y'all, we are doing my beautiful interview with content creator, R&B, up and coming R&B singer and songwriter, a lady that sent her legacy for her own way, the one and only Miss Semiyah. God bless you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Y'all, we are done. Peace.